Today we are going to talk about the design principle of a blockchain. In the introductory topic, in the first lecture, I talked about a few things. So today I am going to discuss in more detail, and I will take the basic Bitcoin solutions are available. So I will take example of the Bitcoin for our discussion. So, as we know, what is blockchain? It is a platform for executing the transactional services. So, there may be some entities, multiple organizations, or individual who may not trust each other. And if they want to do some transaction, they want to involve in some business, then the blockchain is the platform, suitable platform, which provide a sufficient privacy and security background platform by which they can interact, they can coordinate, and they can work. So, an append only shared ledger of digitally signed and encrypted transactions replicated across a network of a peer nodes. Basically, each entity, each organization will maintain some ledger. These ledger will be shared among all those entities. It will be available to them. It is digitally signed and encrypted transaction. Digitally signed so that the generator of that document or the transaction can be verified. Encrypted so that the confidentiality will be maintained, replicated across a network so that it is replicated on that network, so that the data which is required to any entity can be available easily. But here will be the issue of consistency of each and every replica, and it is maintained by consensus mechanism. So the block in a blockchain, how it look like? So securing data by cryptographical concept, it is a very typical example. So digitally signed and encrypted transaction, it can be verified. Cryptographically, cryptographic security is provided here, which ensures that participant can only view information on the ledger that they are authorized to use. So no authorized user can access. Here, this proof of work, basically, it is a consensus mechanism. I will discuss in the next lectures. This previous block, this is the hash code, which I discussed in the last lecture. That is a hash pointer, basically. So this hash pointer will point to this one, this pointer will point to this one. And these are the list of transaction. So in any block of a blockchain, there will be block header and then list of transactions. So structure of a block is a container data structure that contains a series of transactions. A block will contain series of transactions. For example, in Bitcoin, a block may contain more than 500 transactions on average, and the average size of a block is around 1 MB. It is upper bound by this Satoshi Nakamoto in 2010 proposed this limit, but it can grow up to 8 MB or sometime higher. This value is of March 2018. Larger block can help in processing large number of transactions in one go. So this is the example I have taken. This block was mined on April 13, 2021. On this time, as I said, a block have two component, a block header and list of transactions. So this is the typical information which is stored in block header. You can see the hash value confirmation. This 5 means it currently has 5 confirmation on the Bitcoin blockchain. Timestamp value, you can see 13th April 21, this time. Height, miner via VTC, this is the miner. Number of transactions in the block. Difficulty level, this is for the consensus mechanism, we will discuss in unit 2. Markel root, as I discussed in the last lecture, that is hash chain to blockchain. This is the Markel root value stored here. Version, some bits, weight, size, this random variable nonce, transaction volume, block reward, fee reward. This is basically some information, like you can see here. The miner of this block earned a total reward of this. Reward consisted of a base reward of this with an additional this amount reward paid as a fee of this transaction which are included in the block. So these are the basic typical information. This is just an example of a blockchain. I have taken Bitcoin, which is available in public domain. You can see this. You can click on this link, and I have shown the source of this content. You can click and explore. So the block header, basically in respect of Bitcoin, it is a metadata about a block which consists of previous block hash, mining statistics used to construct the block, and Markle tree root. You know, previous block hash, as I discussed in the previous lectures also, every block inherits from the previous block. We use previous block hash to create the new block hash. Basically, we compute the information stored in the previous block, we compute the hash of that, and then stored in the new block, and which make the blockchain tamper proof. So this is the basically S3, S4, and so on, H0, H1, H2, H3. We compute. This is the chain basically. Now, mining, the mechanism to generate the hash is mining. The mechanism to generate the hash is basically what's the way by which the actual block will be confirmed. The mechanism needs to be complicated enough to make the blockchain tamper proof. Bitcoin mining use this mechanism. Find the nonce such that HK has certain predefined complexity. So this is the difficulty. Find the nonce, this value nonce such that this HK has certain predefined complexity. For example, number of zeros at the prefix. Suppose I say 3-bit will be 0 in this HK, or 4-bit should be 0, or 5-bit should be 0. So this is the difficulty level to find out to find out the nonce value so that we get this type of hash code. The header contains mining statistics, that is timestamp, nonce, and difficulty, as I said. So Markle tree root, I have already discussed in the previous lecture. So this is the Markle root. It can be used for verification of all the transactions. This is the summary. You can see here. Difficulty level, bit size, same information. This is the old block information. You can see all the version, weight, timestamp, transaction fee, output, number of transaction. Hashes in a block. Again, I have taken the Bitcoin. Next block, previous block, hash value, Markle root. So block identifier, the hash of the current block header, we may use uh, normally SHA also used. Several other algorithms are also used in the finding the blockchain hash. Previous block hash is used to compute the current block hash. Now transactions are organized as a Merkle tree root, and the Merkle tree root is used to construct the block hash. This Merkle root is used to construct the block hash. And if you change a transaction, you need to change all the subsequent block hash. So the difficulty of the mining algorithm determines the toughness of tampering with a block in a blockchain. So these are some points I have already covered. These 2 points. The difficulty of a mining algorithm determines the toughness of tampering with a block in a blockchain. Because if you computing the hash value, you have to satisfy that difficulty for mining. So this is the another example. I'm skipping this slide. So in summary, we can say the block contains two part, header and the transaction list. The header of a block connects the transaction. Any change in the transaction will result in a change at the block header. So the header of subsequent blocks are connected in a chain, and the entire blockchain need to be updated if you want to make any change anywhere. So that's why we say blockchain provides a tamper proof in platform upon which several entities can coordinate and work. And the privacy and security is provided by the blockchain. So enough for today.